Alright, I'm gonna make this video short. Now, when you dealing with people like, and that's my guy, cause I like him, Richie from Boston, and Call for Uprising, these type of people, let me tell you, man, I appreciate the information that they give. But number one, how you gonna say, cause I'm gonna just ask a question. Not because you feel like something took you out of your alcoholism, your drug addiction, and your bad ways. Don't look at it as an emotional stance. Put that God that you saying to the side for a minute. He'll forgive you, right? So put that fool shit aside just for a minute and think with common sense, because that's what people smart, but then they lose common sense all the time, especially when it comes to something emotional. They lose their common sense and they don't have no common sense. If you're gonna say, listen, if you're gonna say the Illuminati doing this, they spraying chemtrails, they doing this, who is they? And if they are the powers that be and they bloodlines go back through history and spans through time, then don't you think they fucked that Bible up? I mean, don't you think they put their hands in that shit too? How can they put their hands over everything else and not touch that? Why don't we understand that when you actually break that shit down, that book is retarded and it don't make sense? When you sit there and try to say, yeah, they got little stories in there because people been people forever, so you can apply anything in there to your life. I'm talking about this. The shit don't make no sense. And then the code they put in there. They got codes in there like the firmament and all this. So don't take that and go run away with it. Because yeah, that's in there, but then again, it's twisted confusion in there because they gotta have chaos. That's how they operate. I thought you knew that. So when you get in this book and you see and you start going, God this, God that, he this, he that, there is no he, there is no she. It's just it, because a man can't make a woman. Anything male can't make no female. And if you sit there and say, well, yeah, well, God did, that's still you represented as a man. Let's get off of that shit and know that that God you talking about is a group of entities. The same group of entities that's running this shit. That's that God you talking about. That God is represented by a bunch of entities. Instead of it saying it, it gave it to you in a trick when it says, then God said, let us. Then all of a sudden God became us. All of a sudden God became we, because God always been us and them. It always been us and them. Them. It always been them and our. It always been that. God ain't never been one. It's been them and our. And them and our are the ones that's tampering with you to this damn fucking day. Listen, people don't want to believe that because they got emotions about stuff and they can't break shit down. Especially when it says God said, let make man out of our own likeness, and then turned around and created man again and made Adam and Eve. So who was the first creation? You got to look at that, man. It says God said, let us make man, and then to turn around and made another creation called Adam and Eve. Because Adam and Eve, God didn't say I'm going to make Adam and Eve out of my likeness. He made them out of the dirt. So if he made anything, he made two separate things, or they made two separate things. It made two separate things. Then it said, and then not only that, the trickery in the book. Now go look to the first creations, okay? Well, to the third creations or whatever. It says, now go be fruitful and multiply and replenish. Now, what do replenish mean? Okay, let's go with recoup, redo, recover, read this. That means it was something there already. Ain't no replenishing when it was nothing ever there. Ain't no replenishing. I can't replenish shit if I'm just now making it for the first time. So you got to look at the tricks that these homosexuals, Constantine and all them, all of a sudden they got good and made something good for you to believe in, dude.